I want to share with you why I run for this seat and where I want to see our children be. I'm in this race for the San Jose Unified School District because, bottom line, I care. And deeper than that, because I love our children, our community. And I believe that we are here today because we care about our children's future. Our children's future depends on the kind of quality of education that we provide for them. And with your help and with your support, through prayers, through volunteerism, through your financial resources, and through your encouragement, I will fight for our children's future. We know that our parents, our grandparents, our great-great-grandparents of immigrant backgrounds that built this country, that came to this country for the very common purpose, leaving everything they love behind their beloved countries with very little on their back. That's the common story of how our parents came here. They came for their children's education, their future, and for opportunity. I also believe, working with our San Jose Evergreen Community College District for the past 14 years, I've become very close with our faculty, our staff, our leaders in the community, our trustees. I've come to appreciate them and know that many of our teachers, faculty, teachers and staff at the schools, and parents care about the success of our children. I know they care. However, the numbers don't lie. Of the 10 schools in the trustee area 4, where I live, 10 schools in that San Jose Unified School District trustee area, 5 of those schools, including all 3 high schools in that trustee area, had their API scores or the Academic Performance Index score decline in the past 2 years. That's between 2013 versus from 2012. Out of 1,000 possible points for the API scores, one of the 3 high schools had a score of 626. The other school had a score of 695. And the best of the 3 had a score of 822. That is a low B for being 82%. Or at 69%, that is a D. We cannot afford to have our children in an environment where the average is a D or a low B. Is that correct with everyone?
Yes.
And then we are at the community colleges. And I was working with the chancellor on a presentation, and we find out that 2 out of 3 college students have to take remedial courses. What does that mean? That means that we are giving them a high school diploma, but they are not prepared for college courses. They are not prepared for a career. And that is part of the reason why that during the Great Recession in our country, there were over 13 million people unemployed. And yet, there were 3.5 million jobs that would not be able to be filled because we didn't have to qualify people for those jobs. Among them are jobs in information technology, advanced manufacturing, and healthcare. That is a tragedy. If we look at our nation's education achievement compared to the advanced countries, we have lost grounds. We are no longer number 1. And if we look at California, California is near the bottom of 50 states. And then in trustee area 4, we have 50% of our schools have declined in their API scores, in their academic performance. And when I look at the other 5, total 5 trustees areas in the San Jose Unified School District, they're not that much better. Approximately 50% of all of our schools in that district actually had their scores decline in 2013. That is why I believe that we have to change. We cannot continue that way. That is what we have to think about. Furthermore, when we look at the achievement gaps between two groups of students, those that come from lower income families and those that come from higher income families, the achievement gaps is yawning. They compare 6 years of improvement, and the gaps have only narrowed by 9% from 178 points difference between two groups in the same district, in the same trustees areas, 178 point difference between two groups. In 6 years, it took them to narrow it down by 9%, and in 2011, the achievement gap was, the separation was 162 points. If it takes them 6 years to narrow by 9%, it may take them 100 years to really close that gap. That is not right for our children. Do you agree with that? And that actually is our reality. That is our problem that we must address now. So, together, we must stop this downward spiral and reverse that direction for our children's future. We must challenge ourselves to do more to prepare them for the global society, for their future, and that has to begin at the board level. And when I talked to Dr. Lee, he shared with me that, Sam, and we can ask that ourselves, if it's not me, then who? And if it's not now, then when? If I am elected to the board of this San Jose Unified School District, the board is a body that makes decisions and set directions that will impact the future of our children. I will fight for quality education, and I will fight for accountability. In quality education, every child matters, and every child should be prepared to succeed with 21st century skills. And those skills include critical thinking and problem solving, communication, creative thinking, collaboration, and global citizenship. For accountability, as Chancellor Sebela always have mentioned to us at most of her presentations, we must measure what we treasure. And those include our student progress, the well-being of our teachers and our staff, and also cost-effective budgeting. Right, Vice Chancellor Smith? But this is the moment that we have to ask the question, what about leadership? We need new leadership. The incumbent that we are trying to run against has 20 years on that board. She is running for the 5th term. 20 years, where are we? A D average, a low B average, an achievement gap that takes another 100 years to close? I think it's time we need new leadership. Do you agree with that? Yes. Because of new leadership, what we need is more than just being a board member. It's being someone who can bring new inspiration, fresh ideas, increase accessibility to the people that we serve, and increase communication to achieve academic success. So I am committed to making sure that all of our children, regardless of their race or ethnicity, gender, or whatever background they come from, every single child that is within our responsibility, they deserve to achieve an equal level of educational outcome. Do you believe in that also? So speaking about achievement gap, it's not good enough that we close the gap. But it's more important than that is that our best students groups, their scores is only in the high 800 or 900. That is still 100 points less than the potential they can achieve. Our job is not only to close that gap, but also to make sure that the best students continue to achieve more, because our community deserves the best and the brightest through education, and we need to help them to get there so that our community and our nation depends on that. So I'm also committed to making sure that we have a great, rich diversity in Silicon Valley, and to prepare them for global leadership and success. We must be able to bring them together, pool our resources together, and build that global community together. And when we have done that, every single student among us will benefit from our efforts to be ready to succeed and to lead in this 21st century global community. So at this time, I ask for your continued support, and it's time that we together say, it's time to transcend status quo, and it's time to vote for Sam Ho. Because, so can we all say that together? It's time to transcend status quo. It's time to vote for Sam Ho. Thanks, Richard, that was good. And the reason is because I will fight for our children's future, and because we all care. Thank you. May God bless you. May God bless our children. And may God bless the beautiful country of America.